Hey guys, Nick here, Last Stop Reviews. Here today revisiting the Speck CandyShell. Now, as many of you probably don't know, when I first started my channel, the Speck CandyShell was one of the first cases I reviewed. Now, I've started going back and watching my very early beginning reviews for the simple fact that I wanted to see kind of how I've progressed throughout the months I've been doing the channel. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not really happy with some of the earlier reviews. So I had an opportunity about a week ago to trade for another CandyShell, and so I took that opportunity, and I must say, based on my initial review of this and this case that I have in my hand, I really felt that I need to retouch on it. So this is going to be my Speck CandyShell review, kind of part 2. But guys, let's just jump over into the close-up cam and I'll show you why I felt like I really needed to redo this one. Alright guys, so this is a Speck CandyShell, and instead of going back and saying what I didn't like about my first review and just doing the back and forth on it, I'm just going to pretty much start over, swipe the slate clean. So this is a Speck CandyShell. It is actually the first generation of the CandyShells. They recently came out with a revision of it that does not have the dual coloring on it. It actually just has, it's more of a mono color theme to it. And they fixed a few things that a lot of people weren't so fond of about this generation of cases. But this is really one of the first hybrid cases that were developed. It might actually still be one of the only hybrid cases because I haven't seen a lot on the market like this. And what I mean by hybrid is it has a really nice soft silicone feel on the inside, but it has the durability of a hard case on the outside. So you definitely have a lot of shock protection and a lot of scratch protection at the same time. So one of the things about this case that a lot of people weren't so fond of, and I'll just slip this in here really fast, is the buttons are really difficult to press. Now this one at least I haven't had a lot of issues with. You don't feel the clicking like, as many of you probably know, I definitely like feeling, but at the same time I have no problems with this one clicking up and down. Let me turn this towards you guys. So that is one thing that maybe because this has been used for, based on the scratches on the back, a good amount of time, that maybe it just, once it was used enough that it just got better. But another thing that a lot of people weren't so fond of is this can be really difficult to be taken out. And what I mean by that is since it isn't a slider case, it isn't a case that can easily just be pulled apart, you really had to kind of pry the thing out. And the best way to do it that I found is just kind of take the corners and peel them back. And eventually you'll get that and you just lift it out. Now again, I remember with my first CandyShell, it was really difficult to get out the first 2 times because the case just wasn't broken in yet. And I really think that's what a lot of it is, that people just weren't giving it enough time. I honestly didn't give it enough time the first time I reviewed it. I was just kind of an eager beaver and just wanted to jump into the review. But after this one has been used for a while, Christine sent this to me. I'll put her YouTube name up here. That it definitely has lost a lot of those flaws. But the one thing I did notice that I wasn't so fond of, let me put this back in here to show you guys, is the bottom piece here can definitely be moved around and messed up a lot. So that I still think can be broken pretty easily if you hit it the wrong way. But overall guys, I really think this is a nice series of cases, and I would recommend it to people. I've actually been using it as my main case since I got it because I just really like it. But the last thing I can comment about this, and really the main reason I disliked it in the beginning, was, as you guys can see, this case can get really easily scuffed up and get really easily scratched. And with the black, it's not as noticeable, but when I had the gray and green, it was really, really noticeable. So that was really the main thing that I didn't like about the case. But guys, overall, this is a really nice, solid, sturdy case that I'd recommend to really any of you, unless you just cannot deal with the scuffs, in which case I'd say get a very dark color or get either black or white. I'll say it that way, for the simple fact that those 2 colors don't really show a lot of scratches. But guys, this is Nick, Last Stop Reviews, revisiting the CandyShell, and I will check you guys later.